Here we go,
To the
Mr.
show.
TK.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Sunday.
This is as good as sports get now. Can you go see a sport now? Are you still
You
allowed
can,
to
but
see
only
sports?
one of two people. So like you got to get two tickets, and then you got to like tell somebody like, hey, you want to go to the show with me or the game? And then you got to tell them at the
Say,
last second and say, I'm going alone because there's
yeah,
50% capacity. So
thanks for
sorry.
paying for half of my ticket.
Yeah. So it's just us today. Schedules got all mixed up. Things happened this week. So our investor couple will be coming out in the new year. But welcome. Welcome
That
back,
is
Daryl.
that is my fault.
It's
Thanks
okay.
for having me on the show again, TK. I'm
No, today
I'm
I'm on
I'm
your
glad to
show.
be
Today
here.
I'm on your show.
Are,
You're
am
in
I
charge.
gonna
You've
tr
got you got the agenda today.
am I gonna try and interview you today and absolutely not be able to?
Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that. You know what everybody cares about though?
What's that?
The metaverse.
True.
Do you care about the metaverse?
I care about parts of the metaverse. Yes. I
I
also care about the
care
real universe too, more than the
more,
metaverse. But
more.
I like how the metaverse interacts with the real world.
So,
The metaverse.
are they independent of each other, TK? Is the metaverse
Hold on.
separate
Ask me the
from the
question.
universe?
Ask me the question that everyone asks on their podcasts. What is the metaverse and what is not the metaverse?
Okay.
Are you gonna ask me that
TK?
question? It's more impactful when you say it.
Well, I don't know that it's a good question, but TK, and I don't know that you're the guy that has the right answer.
I definitely don't.
But
Disclaimer.
TK, what, in your opinion, what is not the metaverse?
The metaverse is not one single state of entertainment or exploration or awareness.
I'll tell
It's
you what
a
it's not.
multi. You know what, Daryl? Why don't I just interview you then? Okay.
You know, one thing it's not?
What is it?
It's not able to trade real estate yet.
It definitely is not able to trade any real estate yet. They're working on that
No
though.
real estate, but it is very able to trade virtual real estate.
Virtual real estate. Yeah. You can buy next door to Snoop Dogg, and I'm sure he'll invite you over to one of his barbecues.
Few hundred grand if you want to live beside Snoop
450,000
Dogg,
US. Yep.
right?
Yep.
So answering what it's not, answering
Yep.
what it is are irrelevant,
Okay.
completely irrelevant because it's so early. Nobody even knows what this thing is capable of. What it basically is being inside the internet, if that makes any sense. It's a different version of the internet is what the metaverse is. I mean, we're in it now. We're online. There's a bunch of people at different times of day in different time zones in different areas watching us, and it doesn't even matter. Like, and we're online. We're like these talking fake heads online. They don't even know. For all
We
they
don't have
know,
bodies. We don't have bodies.
or brains.
We just have faces, shoulders,
Have
nipples,
you
and a.
seen? But have you seen some of the like AI technology that like there's AIs that just talk to each other on YouTube. They have
No, I
full
haven't seen that.
conversations.
But you've heard it here first, folks. Okay. Daryl Frankfort has defined the metaverse.
It's everything. It's
Yeah.
everything,
It
and
really
it's all
is. It really
encompassing,
is. It's
right?
it's nobody has the right answer. So that's why it's a great question, because it's defined so many different ways. We are
So many
definitely in the
different
metaverse
ways.
right now, and the metaverse is going to be spilling into the real world as we know it, little by little by little, just like our friend Ryan Serhant.
Yeah. So let's go into that. And I think he's dead right.
So Ryan Serhant, okay, is $1 million listing New York. He's got a coaching program. We've had him on our team for little, pep talk stuff and different programs. And I've read, I think he's got 2 books. I've read both those books. He's definitely a top producing real estate agent. I think he's the #1 broker in New York. I know that at one point he was. This
According
guy
to
does
that
like
show, he is.
he does like crazy deals. He sells entire buildings of apartments in New York. And according to this article, $5 billion worth of real estate. And he's a young guy, like he's like my age. He's like in his mid-30s.
It bothers me that he has gray hair and he's so
It's a
young.
genetic thing. I've got family with that in their 20s went all
It
gray.
doesn't bother me that he has actually gray hair. It bothers me that he doesn't dye it something other than gray. But anyways, that has nothing to do with our topic.
Nothing at
He's a
all.
smart guy, and I think,
Brilliant.
he's definitely out there, and he deals with like high net worth people.
Yep.
And what we are definitely going to see is people that just made a fortune in crypto and they want to divest a little bit. As much
Yeah.
as
So
they're
we,
all
we, we,
in.
we brought this up. We brought this up because he's smart. He's getting his name out there that he's the guy who can help them spend their crypto, right? That's what the
Absolutely.
point. That's why he's going out there saying he's transacting, and he's saying he's doing a
Absolutely.
couple deals a month, right? Now this is a brokerage level, so I'm not sure how many deals they'd be doing. Let's guess that they do 50 to 100 transactions in that brokerage. Who knows? So
A month?
2 a month. So 2 transactions a month are crypto, and one of them is wallet to wallet, which to me makes the most sense. I don't know what the transaction costs are for like BitPay and all these other types of stuff, but if I'm a seller and I'm going to get paid in crypto, that's already more volatile than me getting paid in US dollars. And then I also have to pay some sort of fee, or vice versa as a buyer. It kind of takes away from the transaction. Whereas if it's wallet to wallet, that to me seems like it's the right way to do it.
Wallet to wallet's good for payment, but what is not happening at the moment is all the other friction is not being eliminated. So what are we doing?
It's impossible to at this point.
Right, but
Because of-
all we're doing is allowing, I guess, well, he's putting up his hands and going, yeah, like if you want to change your Bitcoin into physical asset, I'll help you do it, and I'll arrange you with somebody else that's like-minded. But all he's doing wallet to wallet is, eliminating some fees on the money. But none of the rest of the process is being digitized or anything.
No,
We're just talking about it.
unfortunately, that is
taking
so far
Bitcoin.
away.
Yeah.
There's the government needs to get involved for that, and we all know
Which, I think
how long that's going to take.
wallet to wallet is probably peanuts to do. It depends, I guess, where your wallet is. If you have an online wallet, it's one thing. But that's not the issue in real estate, being able to pay for stuff, right? Especially in that kind of a price point. Like those people can wire money. I mean, the new Bitcoin money or the new Ethereum money and like all these new Dogecoin millionaires, that's a different story. That's where all their wealth is. And this is a godsend. Like they need places to spend it. Otherwise, who knows what's going to happen to it if it stays in that currency, right? But what's important is that people are already doing it, and it will increase like exponentially in the next few years.
Metaverse.
And he's not the only guy that recognizes this. Like this is happening all over the place, right?
I'm 100% aware and on board for crypto transactions. I think that's going to be that's as far as it's going to go for a little while, Darryl. I've done my research. I've looked into it. It's not easy, and it's not something that is going to be very well adapted. And the real estate industry is like full of dinosaurs, and even the young people today are going to be dinosaurs soon too, right?
Well, I think that there's a whole buying group out there, enough of a buying group out there that will buy now for certain products. So certainly it's going to be much more difficult to digitize and eliminate all the friction and have people buy instantly, like a resale home.
Okay.
Right.
But let's just talk quickly about some of the challenges with the crypto. Right. High transaction fees. Okay. In the States, they have something that's the 1031 exchange, right? On the sale of capital, right? So in order to be able to transfer from one capital to another to avoid capital gains taxes, you can do what's called a 1031 exchange. I don't understand it. Watch a YouTube video on it if you want to get more info on that. But they have that. In Canada, we don't. So
Tax deferment if you
if
buy more real estate with the profits from the other real estate.
yeah, so maybe that's something that crypto people will be able to take advantage of. But in Canada, we don't have that. So when you realize your gains on that crypto, you're paying tax because going from crypto to Canadian dollars, you pay capital gains on that amount of money that now has been realized. You have to pay tax on it. Even going from Bitcoin to Doge, you have to pay tax on that. You're realizing your gains.
So, but this is not what the market needs. Like a few people that can buy with Bitcoin from other people that have a Bitcoin wallet and want that Bitcoin. The market doesn't need that, right? I mean, that would be good, but that's such a tiny bit of market that you have to find the people that have the Bitcoin wallet in order to transfer it right into their Bitcoin wallet. And you have to find somebody that's willing to sell this fairly stable asset for another asset that is was 69,000 like 2 months ago. And now it's like 40 grand.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's challenges. So
but in the metaverse, in the virtual section of the metaverse, you can frictionlessly buy for your cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, like you can swap it for wherever you're going to buy mana for Decentraland or what's the other one? The Sandbox, SND it's called, I think. Anyways, whatever it is.
Polkadot.
You just buy the currency or swap it out for your Bitcoin and buy a piece of real estate there. And all the people that are laughing or think that it's fucking ridiculous to spend like all this money in the metaverse or in the virtual part of the metaverse, like, tell me why. Why
I would also be Darryl, just so you know, I'm not an accountant, but just kind of reading about it and hearing from my own accountant and stuff like that too. I think you also have to be careful buying NFTs. Again, you know, what type of gains. So if I want to buy an NFT and it's $500,000 and I have $500,000 and I go buy $500,000 of crypto and then I go take that crypto and buy $500,000 NFT, I didn't have any gains. So it's not like I'm going to be incurring any tax. But if I bought $100,000 worth of crypto that appreciated to $500,000 worth of crypto, I have a $400,000 gain. When I transfer that out of Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever into an NFT, I realize those gains. I have to pay the tax. So there is a lot of things that are complicated. It's much simpler. Right? I got money. I bought says the Canada Revenue Agency.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Read about it. Read up on crypto taxation.
But we're not even talking about tax. We're talking about new technologies that allow.
I agree. I'm just saying, why not just hold on to the crypto? Why, if I'm bullish on crypto, why ever realize that gain? Why don't I just hang on to my Bitcoin for another 20 years? Why go into an NFT? Because NFTs are more volatile than crypto. That's crazy stuff right now. What we're seeing.
People that are in Bitcoin are not doing it for the most part, I don't think, as like a speculative play. They're like all in Bitcoin. They think it's going to be the next reserve currency and they want to hold it, but they need something to do with it. Like, wouldn't it be amazing to at least be able to buy real estate with those gains? Like, you got all these people.
I love your enthusiasm, Darryl. It's wonderful.
But what are they going to do with all that? Even in 20 years,
why do people buy art?
I think
why do people buy bars of
value?
Gold? Why do I have bars of silver in my freaking drawer piled up? What am I doing with it?
Well, it used to be valuable, but now that there's Bitcoin, nobody really cares about gold and silver and that kind of thing.
It's what it is, you know. It's an asset.
It's supposed to be like property. Bitcoin.
It's supposed to be a hedge against inflation, which silver has not been very helpful lately.
No, right? Neither is gold.
Neither is any of my crypto.
Well, no, nothing is at the moment. Everything's shit.
Don't come to me for investment advice. I nail it out of the park 2 out of 10 times. The other 8, leave me alone.
But even your generation, which I don't think is the same as mine, But your generation
We don't want you.
is, well, you can't have me. I'm too old. I'm too wise for your generation. No, but seriously, your generation would definitely buy a new condo now online for 400, 500,000 if they could.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they just press a button and like,
I just bought a car. I just bought my wife. She wanted a new car. It took me many years to agree to it, but I finally gave in, and we bought it online through a company called Clutch, and they sent me all these reports. They sent me pictures with little minor imperfections, and the guy dropped it off at my house with everything taken care of, license plate and all. And he said, "You got 10 days to bring it back. You get all your money back." And the car ended up being good, so we kept it. We shopped from our living room for a car.
for a used car, you're talking?
It was a used car. You could buy new ones too. Yeah.
No, but that's crazy.
New cars have been doing that forever. But this isn't online. They don't have a showroom.
So I
They don't
remember way, way back when the internet started and eBay was picking up steam, and I bought this like course from this guy who was teaching people how to make money on eBay.
Yeah.
And I never, I guess, applied myself properly to that course, but I did listen and watch it. And what I found interesting was that the guy, he started in a business that was pool tables, and he was like, and everybody was like, who the hell's gonna buy a pool table on eBay? Like, you got to ship that. That's like, that sounds like a real pain in the ass. Anyways, the guy made like millions of dollars selling pool tables on eBay, right? So it's like 2 years ago, nobody even used Amazon that was like older than me, right? Now everybody like can't live without Amazon. And eventually, if all you had to do was like the same thing you would do in a sales center, but you could do it online and you could press buy now, who, like, there's a whole group of people that will do that. And there's got to be a whole group of developers that will adopt that, right?
Pre-construction is the only
That's
thing
where
that would
it's
work like
at.
that. We saw some virtual purchases, but like anybody who says that they're going to sell your home virtually, or going to get somebody to like buy your house virtually based on a virtual tour or something like that, you're leaving money on the table. I'm 100% convinced.
Yeah, the resale market's not easy to do this, and it's not
Yeah.
easy to actually do the whole transaction, because the whole thing of buy now is not just that the money transfers hands, it's that like all those little processes that you got to pay a lawyer to do, or an accountant to do, or a realtor to do, or a brokerage to do, all those things when you press buy now happen. They just happen, right? That's what the market
People do
needs.
them. Yeah,
Well, no, they need
someone takes care of it.
something has to take care of it. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
someone.
Look, you know what, Darryl, like I support your dream. Okay. I support your dream. It's just
This is
very
never
far
supposed to
away
happen.
still. It's very far away still.
I think it's a little closer than most people might think, but I mean, it still will have to be adopted. And now we're
Yeah.
going into lockdowns part. Where are we?
73. I don't know.
What year is it? Where am I?
It's almost 2022 though. That's cool.
2022. We're in
Yeah.
we're about to lock down again. Happy
Yeah.
New Year. Happy
So
Christmas.
let's just talk quickly about the Toronto real estate market. We are in the holiday season, right? So we've got some offer dates, I think Monday, Tuesday, but that'll be the end of it, right?
Anything
Which,
happening?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. There's tons of people out there still buying, and or like bully offers are coming in. Everybody's, trying to get all over it.
Any new listings coming on the market, or are people waiting
The
for
one that I
that?
had coming up on this week ended up needing a roof repair, so we pushed it to January. Actually, 2 roof repairs. The one guy was supposed to be doing it today. It's snowing, so he's going to come up in January. You can't do anything about it. Buyers are just really not. There's not many options out there, right? So depending on their situation, right now is the time to get deals. Like
So-
Monday, Tuesday will be the last couple of days of the offer days, and people will then start to settle down. There might be a few over the holidays, but there's way less people out there right now. If you're thinking about buying, now's your chance, right? Now's your chance to be able to actually get a property that might be sitting on the market. People are stressed. They don't want to, continue to sell their homes. It's a hot market. If they're still on the market, I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh my God, like how everybody's selling and I'm not. That creates a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. So going to make an offer on a seller's property who's been sitting on the market 30, 60, 90 days or more, now's the time to do it. Make those offers. Drop it 10%, whatever you want, whatever you think is reasonable. See what they say. Right? Definitely going to be some deals out there over the next couple of weeks because January is going to be crazy. January is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of listings, so there'll be a lot of activity, but there's going to be a ton of people looking to still get into housing. There was
And
lineups of people this month in December, like lineups of people, and a few of them put the brakes on, but they'll be back in January.
so at the end of this, what was the stats? November stats. We had like 6,000 active listings. Would you say that that's
cut
going
in
to go?
half? Like, remember
It's going to go down?
Oh no, in January it'll go up, but right now.
So when we
listings
see
are crazy
December
low.
stats, is it going to be lower than
Down.
6,000?
Down.
Whoa.
Down. No, it's so far down. Like it's ridiculously far down. When I'm looking in some of the areas, it's just like there's nothing out there. There's like a handful of listings, right? And all the ones
Wow.
that have been sitting are starting to get offers and stuff. So it's pretty impressive what
Now,
January is going to be like.
What's always on my mind lately is and I don't see anybody talking about this at all. And it's what is the effect of Evergrande and China's real estate market gonna be on everybody? Like everybody's just kind of like,
about it. We solved the
we
issue.
talked about it, but no, we didn't come up with anything. And
Daniel Foch had the research down. He just like nailed
what
it
did
out
he
of the park.
say? I don't remember.
It was basically going to be at best like neutral. If anything, it's going to help us because
neutral.
Yeah, at the anything at the best, neutral. But if anything, it'll help us because investors will be like, well, I'm not going to put my money into China. I'm going to put it somewhere else in a more stable country. Like
more
the amount of
country that's at the top of every bubble list on the planet.
That's good. That means people want it. It's a demand place to be. But the amount of companies going bankrupt in China, like the amount of developers underwater is like, whoa, those guys have been in a bubble. They've been in a bigger bubble.
But they're not like, they're seriously like, they must have all just had blinders on because it was like, we're all buying these. No one's living in them. Yeah. We're all pretty sure that they're not even finishing them. Nothing to see here. Let's keep this going. I'm going to
say something that's like a little bit edgy. Like it's a little like, no, it's unsettling to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. There are a group of Chinese investors, okay, that are known throughout Canada. I know the Canadian market more than ever, that overpay for properties and do foolish things and make decisions that nobody thinks is the right decision. And years later, we find out there's one building near me that I want to bring to you as a development, but I found out a Chinese company bought it for like 5 million in the 80s. It's still not even worth that over 30 years later because they bought it at the height of the market. And we're talking about in Canada. So imagine all those same group of Chinese buyers they have in China who must be paying for properties that are way overpriced or totally crazy. Their performance based on what they think they're going to be able to build. Right.
It's just the Ponzi scheme is insane.
Something's going on. I don't know what it is.
They don't even rent them. Like they just buy them to sit there.
Yeah.
And they know it. Like they're not. I don't know. It is like
someone took a course. They took a course and they only watched 3 of the 8 volumes.
How to buy real estate with your own money and flush it down the toilet.
The first 3 volumes were about buying the real estate, but the other 5 volumes were about what to do with the real estate afterwards.
So if they're asking $350,000 and you have $400,000 in savings, you should just give it all to them and hold.
You can't lose.
You can't lose. You'll get that. You'll get it. And then in like 8 years, they're going to knock the building down.
Yeah. Look, and there's there's investors like this in every market of every type and every nationality. I'm not saying that, but there happens to be very consistently a group of Chinese investors in Canada who do this in every province, like that big one in Nova Scotia where they bought like thousands of acres and then now basically are just like, oh, I guess we can't build a resort town here. And they've lost like tens or hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And now the whole town's like, what are you guys doing? Why are you?
We sold a deal in Midland, Port McNichol. It was like, it was to actually build like a port for like private boats and to like have a marina there. Yeah. And there was all this land around it. And they were like, there was these grand plans and we ended up selling it to a Chinese group who is no longer with us.
They didn't die. They basically
died. Yeah. but years ago before, but soon as, I don't know if you know about the three red lines policy, and that's basically what's kind of bring China's like doing it on purpose. Like China as a government is doing what everybody on the internet says our government should do. They exploded their real estate market before
Yeah.
it exploded itself. And they
Yeah.
made a few years ago this three red lines policy that it
Okay.
basically is new guidelines for borrowing for developers
Yes.
and new rules on leverage, basically. And so
Okay.
what happened is all of the real estate developers in China were like, this is not good. I don't think we have enough time to unwind this thing. And
Yep.
they started trying to unwind it by being more profitable in like other ventures that had nothing to do with
Okay.
real
Yeah.
estate.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I know they tightened up rules. I never heard the three red line things.
That's
They
what it was
tightened up
called.
their
Basically, they
exposures.
changed.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so now, but this was by design. And so in the States and in Canada, what happens is there's a bailout for all these corporations to keep everything afloat so that nobody goes down. And China was like, probably strategically, we should go down first, recover while they're all going down. And at
We
least
can buy
ours
them
is
out
planned. Ours
or
is
take them over.
planned.
Yeah.
When the States goes down, it will be a disaster, and it will
Yeah.
be so propped up and so far down the road that like it's going to be a mess that can't be unwound. But if they would have done what China's doing, they can unwind the thing. They got to pop the pin, but they just keep pumping more money in, pumping more money in.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
So for now, Toronto Real Estate Show,
But the metaverse.
we're okay. We're
But
okay.
in the metaverse, none of this is a factor. I mean, it could go up, it could go down. But
Why not? Why is the metaverse not a factor?
Because it's in its infancy. If you buy something now and you're smart about it, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it.
Okay.
But like these
What
are
about
being,
the .com bubble? Internet in its infancy.
that's why
How
I'm
much
saying
money? The
have
stocks
to know
lost like
what
98%.
yeah, that's why like you don't bet the farm on Shiba Inu, right?
No.
No, but don't
Or monkey faced with cigar hanging out his face NFT.
oh, none of this stuff. None of it.
I know.
It's silly
Trust me,
right now.
it's silly.
But behind the NFT is
Yes.
not just the artwork that
I
we
get it.
see
I'm
with
with
a
you, Darryl.
monkey
I'm
with a
with you.
cigar.
I know.
NFTs and smart contracts are what's
Yes.
going to change and revolutionize
Revolutionary.
the planet, right?
100%.
And this is where we need to focus. And that's why I'm saying, like, it's great to be able to buy something with Bitcoin, and it's super cool. And you can attract the market and say, hey, all you Bitcoiners that want to buy some real estate, I can help you.
Yeah.
By facilitating the transaction, but they're not doing anything different. It's like, hey, all of you Iranians, like I can launder your money from Iran over here.
They
I'll
don't do
help.
that.
But it's the same thing if they
Speculation.
did. If they did do that, it's
Yeah.
it's similar.
Yes.
But when real
Allegedly.
estate, allegedly similar, but
Yeah.
when you can frictionlessly buy a condo, ching, and all the shit happens in the background that needs to happen, or you can buy a house, psing, and all the shit that happens in the background just psing happens.
Yes.
How real estate is like going bananas. And trust me, there's plenty of people working on this right now, including what you said or what we learned earlier, the real estate board. Now they're going to fuck it up. But and I don't know if it's the first person, bless you, the first person that does this that's going to win or make all the money. Like there's a lot of people working on it. A lot of people are going to screw it up royally, and it's super hard to pull off what needs to be pulled off, right?
Yeah.
But that's what's interesting. Not just being able to pay with some other currency. I mean, what the fuck is new about that?
Yeah. I'm going to use an example here, and it's just the one that came to mind. Legalizing weed, right? Colorado, maybe California, I don't know, Washington. I think there were some states down in the States, right, that did it. And it was all like, trying to figure it out and all that kind of stuff, right? And it was real taboo, right? It was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're doing that. And then all of a sudden it became a little bit more mainstream. And then the government was like, hey, Why are we not doing this? Right? The Canadian government said, oh, okay, you know what? It's working for them. Crime, I don't know the studies, but things seem like they're not falling apart. Let's legalize it too. And so far, I mean, these weed shops are filling, useless commercial retail spaces that nobody else wants, that are overpriced all over the city. They're great, right?
They're absolutely great for landlords, for sure.
They're great for
until
landlords.
they're not, until a bunch of them disappear.
Yeah.
Right. And
So all their
overnight, they're
funding is
gone.
gone, and they
Right.
realize that was a bankrupt venture.
One
But
day that'll be the
that's what's going to happen.
headlines.
So there'll be a state who says we are going to amend the legislation for our land registry, however their title transfers work, right? And they'll fix some of the kinks, and then it'll be maybe widely adopted by a more populous state like California or whatever. And then I'll probably Texas. That's Elon's down in Texas. It'll be Texas first. And then it'll go into somewhere Florida. Everything happens. Florida will fuck it up first. But that's what's going to happen is then Ontario can look at it and say, because it is provincially regulated, and say, hey, you know what? We've learned from these other places. Let's implement our own strategy to be able to make this something that everyone can benefit from, because it does make sense, right? Real estate lawyers will not like it, but
they will if they're a partner in one of the firms that like does a good job of it.
Yeah.
Lawyers, one piece of the puzzle. There's a
one
lot of people that won't like this, but that's the point. That's the
Brian
point.
Serhant's article there was know your customer rules. So we've got FINTRAC. So FINTRAC is the Proceeds of Crime, Money Laundering, and Terrorist Financing Act. And that's what is trying to regulate who's buying what property and all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that
we know in Canada they're doing a wonderful job.
They've caught 0 people, literally. FINTRAC came in 2008, and 0 people have been caught because of that. That's the stats that I got. You
go left, I'll go right.
No,
Ready?
this is how it works, Daryl. So Daryl, you'd like to buy.
There's only one.
You'd like to buy some real estate today? Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, but I only have Bitcoin from selling cocaine. Is that okay?
Well, let's just start again before you tell me too much. I just want to know.
Is that too much?
Are you a terrorist?
No.
Are these is this transaction the funds for this transaction from the proceeds of crime?
No.
Okay. Is there any money laundering going on right now?
No.
Okay, good. All right, let's do this transaction, because I'm going to get paid a commission, or you're going to invest the money with our bank, or you're going to be able to, buy my boat that no one else wants to buy. Let's do it.
I'm good with this.
Good. There you go. That's the system. Seriously.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Nobody's been caught.
And crypto's not changing that game.
No. So that's the issues will be how to ensure that we don't allow the wrong people to buy real estate. Because imagine if, I'll just use a random,
Hold on. Imagine if we were really
Taliban.
Trying that.
Imagine if the Taliban was able to buy, right, like a serious piece of real estate in Toronto, and they owned that real estate. It was like a strategic piece of real estate that they ended up getting to own because of this type of system in place. Probably not a good thing for us, right?
And how would we know it's them?
Well, we won't.
Is this?
But if they showed up at the
same Bin Laden?
Meetings,
is this really say Bin Laden on here?
Yeah, I wish I knew someone who's still alive name, but yeah.
Do they really want to pay in barrels of oil? Is this? Am I reading this right?
He wants 47 crates of AK-47 ammunition. Dropped off at his doorstep.
So, so the point is that it's not a safe way to transact if there isn't this overseeing committee or
which
what are they
now
currently doing a good
working
job.
And so therefore, at least the government's happy with it. Therefore, if you only allow a crypto transaction to happen and everything else happen the same way, it protects the system from fraud. Right. And that's what they're trying to do. Also, there is issues with fraud as far as claims on property. I understand the blockchain. I understand the record keeping, benefits of it, but the governments don't. And we all know how things can be manufactured or duplicated. And
need younger people leading locally and at the highest levels. We need younger, open-minded people
Mhm.
that are going to change things. You can't have older people that don't understand all this stuff. Like, okay, honestly, last week I'm sitting there, I'm talking to my dad, and my dad is like, this is all way too over my head. Like, this is too much for me. I'd rather die than figure out all this technology. And I was like, but your parents felt like that 25, 30 years ago too, right? Like all the crazy technology you guys had, right? And I'm already starting to feel like I don't really understand how things work totally anymore, right? Like, and this is a generational thing. You're not supposed to have the older people dictating what is going on because they're fucking out of it. We got 70,
Dinosaurs.
yeah, we got 70, 80-year-old
I'm
politicians.
I'm included in that dinosaur list.
Well, but I mean, I'm a dinosaur trying to hang on.
Let's just make a really, I'm going to make a point here, Daryl, that you're going to agree with. Okay. Daryl and
Doubt
I
it
were playing
lately.
a game. Yeah. Don't worry. You're going to agree with this one. Daryl and I were playing a game. What was it called? After the Fall
Yeah,
in VR. So we go
yeah,
and play this game. First time ever. So we bring his son, who is 15,
yeah.
and he's a whiz. Okay. So Daryl and
Never
I,
played it before either.
he's never played it before, but at like the hardest part in the game, Daryl and I get offed real quick. We're dead. And no one's there to bring us back to life. And there's like 200 plus zombies and all sorts of stuff that totally annihilated Daryl and I. And his son single-handedly went and beat every single one of them with all sorts of little tactics. And in the end, got us back alive and onto the next level. Like, he just understands things differently. My 9-year-old does things better than me with technology in certain
Right.
areas that I will never be able to match his skill because of how it's ingrained into him. So as much as you and I want to try to catch up, the younger generation will just have a step ahead of us, from here on.
Because it's a
Right?
different game. It's like all
Yeah.
these older NBA players saying that all the new guys couldn't fucking make it back in our day. And not because they're better or worse, it was just a totally different game. Like it's like a new NHLer playing in the old NHL. Like if somebody body checked one of these new guys the way that they used to check,
Cross
they're
check to the
fucking
face.
dead. It's
Yeah.
over. I'm a
Bobby
$20
Bobby
million
Clark,
asset.
Philadelphia
Don't hit
Flyer,
me.
just like
Right?
yeah.
Fucking dead, brain dead
Yeah.
in one game. It's a
Yeah.
different game. And it's the same thing now. Look, my brain was programmed to have a crosshair thing and 2 buttons.
Mm.
Right. And then when the third button came in on the Sega Genesis, that was already enough. I rarely used the third button. I came up with ways. The Sega forget it. That's when I gave up. Right.
Yeah.
That's when I gave up. When everything came and every finger had to do anything and my brain had to work at the same time. That's why I don't play poker. I'm good with numbers, but I'm not fast enough to figure out what's going on. And by the time I figure out if I have a hand, I already look like an idiot and I'm still not sure that I even have a hand. I'm done. Yeah. But it's the same thing in like games and the world and technology. My wife, it's all stupid. It's ruining the world. I can't wait until something comes and kills the internet. And that's how, I mean, my wife is old. She's my generation. That's how we're supposed to feel, right? She's not too old. She's just older.
You say that, Daryl.
But this is the
women
thing.
Don't age.
This is exactly why I know that I'm onto something, because the next generation wants it quick, easy, fluid, and no horseshit. And they need to eliminate all those steps because the government's not. If you saw the pro forma for the property, how much? Like we just had a cost consultant do like real today numbers. Okay, just as a fun thing to do, a fun way to waste $5,000. Right. Yeah. But just to see if we were right or how much things had changed since the last time we did it. Yeah. And the amount of money per square foot that goes into just government fees and Section 37 bribes and parkland dedications. And it's insane. And then when you add to it all of the consulting fees that you have to spend for people that may or may not know any better than you do. Okay. But they like are considered an expert or like somebody, I don't know. It's a bunch of horseshit.
To sign the paperwork.
Traffic study. Like, honestly, we're adding 430 cars here. Like, you think there's an impact? No impact. Oh, this is good. I could have paid them to say that there was an impact too if I wanted an impact. It's all horseshit. But I got to pay $40,000 for that. So guess who pays it? That's $1,000 a unit right there. Just went up, right?
Yep.
On and on and on.
100
So
bucks a unit.
we need to eliminate something somewhere. And what's easier? You can't eliminate. Can you eliminate the government? Okay.
Who's ever thought about that before? Well, let's talk about the Bank of England.
Okay.
Bank of England just raised their interest rates for the first time. First major economy to raise their interest rates since the pandemic started.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna follow suit soon. Everybody's like warning, soon we're gonna do it.
So this is what happens. Bank of Canada or Bank of England raises their rates, right? Their bond rates go up.
And what do we do? What do we do? We all sit here and watch and see what happens.
Bond investors are going to say, hey, why am I going to go and buy Canadian or US dollar bonds when I can go and buy the pound, right? Because I'm going to get a better return on those short and long-term yield bonds, right? The Fed, they've got inflation down there that's like, I don't know how many percent now, right? But like the official inflation number
in the
is
States, in the
Canadian.
States,
in the States, yeah,
like six something. I think they're saying
exactly. So they're going to end up doing the same thing. So what is Canada going to do? What, we're going to just sit back and let everybody else's currencies get more valued, and then we have less buying power when we start trading with like our biggest trading partners? No, we've got no choice. Debt or not, or government debt or no government debt, we're going to have no choice to follow suit what's going on in the world. It's not going to be, up to us, and the governments are going to be raising those rates.
But the markets are already absorbing those rate hikes.
Why? How do you say that?
Well, everybody just said, okay, inflation is here to stay. It's probably going to get worse, and we're raising rates. So what does the market do? It reacts to that, assuming that that's what's going to happen. Stock markets, sure. And so what else happens? Everybody starts buying like crazy before the rates
real
go
estate
up,
market.
Right?
Yep.
Right. Yep. And probably anybody that's thinking about starting a business that needs an investment or a loan is also like, fuck, we better get on this shit because I don't want to pay a quarter point more or half a point more later.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, inflation is going to go crazy now until somebody else raises their rates. Now, throw onto it the Omicron virus, which is running rampant across the world everywhere now.
Crazy how many things I've had canceled.
Like, my parents just canceled their trip. They were going to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if you were having a wedding, you have to chop the amount of people in half.
Yep.
That sucks. Or cancel that again. I'm reading about restaurants that are closing like ahead of having to be closed because it just doesn't work at half.
Our gym did 50%, 40%.
It doesn't work at those numbers,
get ahead.
right?
Yep,
just to get ahead. But they're gonna wind down again. So what's that gonna do? Is our interest rates actually gonna go up if we're in the middle of lockdowns all over the place again? Or what does that do? So maybe interest rates are going to go up, but they're going to keep pumping money into the system by buying bonds again.
Fed just reduced their bond buying by like, I don't even know what it was, 60%.
I know, but now we have a pandemic.
Yeah.
There's a new pandemic. And this one doesn't work so good with the vaccines. According to the latest numbers,
they just have to give out more vaccines.
More vaccines. We need a booster.
More vaccines for everybody. You get a vaccine,
everybody get vaccine boosters that aren't formulated for this new virus. Go. Or you're all going to die. Boost it up.
Either way, it's
why wouldn't you want to live in the metaverse?
It's the Toronto Real Estate Show.
You see? But hold on a sec. Okay, so people are going to buy a place in Toronto that is 300 square feet downtown for let's say $380,000, and that's a deal. Trust me. Okay, so they're gonna buy that, and they're gonna have nothing other to do but fold the bed up, fold the table up, put on some goggles, and go somewhere that they can afford. Right? Go somewhere where they don't live in 300 square feet. and they don't have to fold up their bed, and they have a pool, and they have friends that are cool.
Not like the
Like
real world
you.
friends.
No, no.
Yeah.
But this is what's going to be, and people are going to want to be somewhere where okay, you know what? I can save up and I can like get 450 square feet, or I can buy a place in this fucking crazy metaverse. And it may not compute to me, and it may not compute to you, and it may not compute to most of our audience, but I guarantee you it's computing to a ton of people. A ton of people. And as you're able to do other interesting things in the metaverse, that thing's going to blow up even crazier. There'll be more reasons to go there.
But I think the only people who should be buying into the metaverse right now are the people who made the money from the metaverse initially. Okay. So,
No, or just people that are fully ready to lose the money 100%.
but that's what I mean. So you earned a bunch of crypto, you did really well, based on the last 18 months of your life and things that you were investing in. Go ahead, splurge, put it all into NFTs and buying real estate in the metaverse and all that kind of stuff too. No problem.
But imagine.
The truth is, Darryl, is that there's a lot of wealth that was created over the last, I guess it's almost 2 years now, right? A lot of wealth was created. There's also going to be the greatest loss of wealth over the next few years because of all these things, right? Look at there's some real nice growth stocks that are down 50, 60% in 2021. Crazy, because they went up 300, 400, 500% in 2020, right? So there's
But who
all
gets
these people,
killed?
there's a ton of people getting killed because of these type of things. Real estate, I don't know when it's going to go down. I'm bullish. I'm to the moon. Here we go. But I know eventually there'll be some sort of correction where there'll be a bunch of people who get hurt and equities will be evaporated and people will be stuck with houses that are underwater. I know that's going to happen eventually. I just don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Same thing with the metaverse and all the assets that are being bought in the metaverse right now. The exact same thing happens. It happens in every market. It always will happen. It will never stop happening. People are going to get killed and they're going to be annihilated with their money. And so by the money that I put in, I can lose. I'm 100%. It goes down to zero. I'm like, no problem. Life goes on. Right. But anybody who's going to be buying these large ticket items, I can only imagine who these people are, but they're not buying them with their last paychecks here. I can promise you that. These are big players who have been spending the kind of money that we've been seeing on NFTs and virtual real estate.
Yeah. So we have a company. Okay. So here we have Nike, who bought a plot of land in Decentraland.
Yeah.
And what are they going to do? They're going to use it as some kind of a portal to their website, probably, and they're going to sell shoes, and they're going to sell NFT shoes to people that can wear them.
Shoes. Yeah.
So let's go back in time and imagine that we could have authentically owned the first pair of skates that Wayne Gretzky wore.
Sure.
And we could own those and we could authenticate that, right?
Great.
But so now you have the first virtual Nike Air NFT designed for the metaverse that is able to be purchased by one person.
Yes. And just like that $5 million building that the Chinese investors bought in the 80s, that's still not worth $5 million today. Probably. It's probably very close, but we're talking 30 years later. Eventually that asset will end up appreciating to the point that you get your money back. But when they bought that, I think it was in the mid to late 80s, when they bought that asset, it probably cut down to $2 million at one point in the 90s, and it completely lost all value, a majority of it. So the same thing is going to happen with NFTs. There will be a time when everybody realizes that there's more NFTs out there than we thought there would be. And yes, the first Nike shoe NFT that was Air Force Ones, whatever, is going to start getting more value again as they make other Air Force One NFTs, but it's not going to be the first one. You're going to have the first one, and that's going to bring value, but it'll be that cycle. And if you need to get out of that NFT at some point because of your situation and you need to sell this part of the cycle, those are the guys who get killed, right?
But this is the beautiful thing. And this is what made my head explode. The art of the NFT is like it's like the tip of the iceberg on this whole thing. The idea of having a contract that has everything necessary baked into it for both parties, that at the click of a button transacts whatever, whether it be just a picture of an NFT or a 3D version of a shoe,
car rental agreement.
a
It could be
car
anything.
rental agreement, an insurance agreement, a deed to a house, whatever.
Yeah.
This is like fundamental to the future. It's inevitable to the future.
100%.
And like, I want to grab on and ride this wave, because this is definitely like a gigantic wave. And yeah, it'll be crazy. There'll be booms and busts. It'll be super volatile, but like the ones in the space that are onto something are gonna be like, they're gonna live through the hell and the ups and downs, and they're gonna make something like any other business. But this is where it's going. Automation and cutting out the middle guys and frictionless, everything easy, and getting all the real info. Imagine like the transparency. But it's going to take a hell of a long time for it to be fully adopted by everyone universally,
Yes.
right?
Tokenization will be massive. It'll be a movement that is going to be, completely revolutionary for the world we know. It's only being created right now. It's only something, the concept is only being understood. It's only something that the highest level people are just starting to work on, who are really knee deep in this space. But for it to take over, just like the internet did, what's the timeline? Okay, from the time that the internet was created, web version 1.0, how long was it until it was adapted? I don't think it ever happened until web 2.2.
No.
It didn't.
So
2.0, people weren't on the internet until social media.
90s. No.
No, so no, people were on the internet back then. Businesses, different type of
chat
stuff.
rooms and stuff.
Chat
People
rooms
were
and all.
on
But
there.
what I'm saying is now everybody's on the internet.
Oh
And
yeah.
everybody's on the internet because of web 2.0, because of social media, because of the connectivity
Connectivity, sure.
that we've been able to
The
establish.
marketing opportunity.
But there was a ton of people who were not a part of web 1.0. They would have never gone on the internet to be able to look at something that, was available in the yellow pages, or a phone book, or calling 411, or like that, write a letter instead of an email. There was a huge group of the population who did not take part. And so web 2.0 would have been around 2008, 2009.
Probably
2007?
earlier than that.
2006. Facebook was created 2005 or
Facebook,
6.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2006, we'll say. And the internet came about, I think, in the early 90s.
Well, no, it started in the 70s, but it became adopted in the 90s.
What about Yahoo and Google? 90s,
Yeah,
right?
they're like 90s.
Okay, so 16 years before the mainstream population was willing to accept. And I'd say between 16 and 25 years before the mainstream population was willing to accept, this is just a part of life. I better get on it. I'm lost. I need FaceTime to see my grandkids. I need to have, some Facebook so that I can get their photos. I need to have, email to be able to communicate with my friends. Otherwise I'm missing out. 15 to 25 years. So that's my guess.
And it got accelerated by this pandemic, right? Like it would have taken even longer for
web 3.0.
Well, we're not in web 3.0 really yet.
We are.
We're starting. It's just starting. It's like the tiniest little surface scratch right now. But
So
still web 2.0 is going.
2.0 is 15 years until 3.0 is created. So my guess is 15 years before this is going to be something that is really widespread.
Yes, and
You've heard it here. You've heard it here first, folks.
I think things move a little faster
expert analysis
now.
Of future guidelines.
Things move faster than they did 15 years ago, 30 years ago. So I think it will actually come a lot quicker than you think. But again, like the macro beautiful idea where there's this frictionless, easily transferable land or houses or basically anything, that's fully adopted by anyone and everyone, that's a long time coming. And that's going to take countries, like countries all to get on the same page.
This is the buzzword. The buzzword right now for me listening to all these shows and podcasts is interoperability. Interoperability.
And that's the big fuck up.
That's the buzzword.
But that's not the buzzword. That's the problem.
It's a buzzword. That's the goal.
TK, it's the goal. Yeah. It is definitely 1,000,000% the goal. But you know what's funny? Yeah. Nobody is working towards the goal.
Why would you? Google owns the internet. Why the heck would they want to have anybody else in that space? The way that the Chinese government has restricted the entire country of China to what they see and what they're allowed to access proves that the internet is not as open as we all think it is. It is not the World Wide Web. It's the web that we want you to see wherever you're located based on what we think is good for you. That's what the internet is. Even YouTube, we are not on an open platform right now. Only the smartest, brightest, bravest, and most willing listeners get to hear our podcast. Everybody else has to wait in line.
As they should.
So,
but this is what but 2.0 I feel is just getting going. Like Amazon is the ultimate 2.0 company, right? Even Tesla, like these are 2.0 companies. Order online, it shows up at your house.
But that's the 3.0 element. That there's this connectivity between the worlds. I'm clicking a button and there's a guy at my door that day.
That's 2.0. The 3.0 is you're in it. You're in it. When you go to a website, you're not going onto a 2D screen. You're going into a website.
My profile on Amazon, right? It's becoming that I disagree with you on this one. 3.0, because my profile, my orders, my lists of regular purchased items are all being recorded as this online profile that, you know, TK Butler is this person online and he exists in the online space. And these are the things TK likes. This is where he lives. This is where you got to bring him. These are the times he wants things. That's to me what 3.0 is. I could be wrong.
That will be integrated into 3.0. So when you're walking in the mall with your AR glasses and it already knows what you're into, when you walk in the mall, it's going to go, hey, TK, like you need some more protein powder. Go to GNC and here's your coupon. Boom.
Yep. Boom.
And you're going to go, oh, thanks for the coupon. And you're going to have this virtual coupon that when you go into the GNC, you're going to go, this thing just jumped out of the wall and gave me this coupon. I need some powder.
They have those fridges, right? The fridges that know when you're running low on stuff.
Yeah.
And they can actually order it.
Maybe you're going to be like, do I need powder? I think maybe I do need powder. Shit, I better get some powder. Now I got this coupon. Wow, that was amazing. And then after you buy the powder, you're going to go back out into the middle of the mall and it's going to be like, hey, TK, look over here.
Yeah.
We know you need some
new underwear,
chic, gigantic condoms, right? You're running low. You better go over to the pharmacy. Here's a coupon. And then you're like, did everybody else see that? What the hell just happened there?
No.
Do I need those gigantic?
Just quietly.
You know what? I didn't realize everybody knew I needed these gigantic condoms.
But it's just that one AI.
I'm going.
So we've got a great guest. The planner from the city of Toronto is going to be on our show for next Sunday. It's going to be Boxing Day. We're airing it on Boxing Day.
Ooh. So that sounds interesting. If you have any questions for him, put them in the comments. We'll be sure to ask. If you've got
questions for a city planner, we're going to be talking to a city planner. Great guy. We're going to be talking about laneway suites, but we're going to be talking about a lot of other stuff too. We're going to go into detail about different planning rationale from the city's perspective and, of course, Darryl's perspective.
I read something about planning in the metaverse where people were like, what if you just spent like $1 million on this plot of virtual land and somebody puts like a big Pokemon statue up in the land beside you? Who's going to regulate those things? And what's to stop me from buying like 3 square feet and putting up 8 billion stories?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So we should ask the planner what he thinks about planning in the metaverse.
That's a great question. Write it down. So if you haven't, if you're still listening, good for you.
Good for you.
Congratulations.
When did we start? Are we running late?
I don't know. I think we're at an hour, right? If you are listening on Spotify, go check us out on YouTube. Drop us a comment. We respond to every one of them. We really appreciate you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. This is what it's all about. This is what keeps Darryl and I doing this. We've been doing this every week now for a while, and we're going to keep on doing it because we love it.
We love you. And
Merry
you,
Christmas.
And you.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Season's greetings to everybody, all the listeners. We appreciate you guys. It's been an amazing year, and we're looking forward to 2022. We're going to just keep on getting better guests and talking about as much Toronto real estate related stuff. We'll try to stay on topic. I'll try to keep Darryl on topic a little bit more, and we appreciate you guys.
Happy holidays, TK.